All right, lesson 96. We're going to have multiple terms in one equation. And this is very much taking a next step to what we learned last week when we had these multiple terms that we had to combine. Okay, so in your notes, first we have to simplify each side of the equation. So before you move anything to one side or the other, you have to simplify the left side and then simplify the right side. After that, you then have to move and get your variable on one side of the equation. Then you get your constants on the other side. After that, we can solve for our variable. Okay, so that's our steps. Make sure they're in your notes. Okay. All right, so our first practice A here. So we have 4x plus 5 plus 3x minus x equals negative 7x minus 8. So I see on my left side, this is too messy. Okay, I have to simplify this. So my 4x plus 3x, remember, I can combine those because they have like terms. That makes a 7x. 7x minus x. Remember, that's like a minus 1x. So 7x minus 1x is 6x, right? So I'm going to end up with 6x plus 5 is equal to negative 7x minus 8. 6x plus 5 equals negative 7x minus 8. Now think what you're going to do. All right, this is like the lesson we just learned in 95, right? So I'm going to have to move one of my variables to the other side of the equation. I really can't remember what I did. Oh, here we go. So I added a 7x to both sides. I couldn't remember which way I moved them. So I decided to move this negative 7x over here. Added a 7x to both sides. And so I ended up with 13x plus 5 is equal to negative 8. Okay. So then I need to move my 5 to both sides. Move my 5 from this side over there. So I'm going to subtract a 5 from both sides. So I end up with 13x is equal to negative 13 because negative 8 minus 5, negative 13. At this point, I can divide both sides by 13 to get x by itself. So x is equal to negative 1. Negative 13 divided by 13 is negative 1. Make sure that's in your notes. Okay. Next example from this lesson, we have 12x minus 7 plus 8x minus 3x is equal to negative 5x plus 15. On the left side, okay, I think I did this in 2 steps. Yeah, just to show you I could. So 12x plus 8x, I thought, oh, okay, I'll just add those. So 20x minus 7 minus 3x. So since I hadn't added the negative 3x with the other x's at this point, I just brought it along and copied the right hand of the equation too. Now I recognize I still have 2 x's on this side, two expressions with x. So I have to take 20x minus 3x. So I'm going to get 17x minus 7 equals negative 5x plus 15. Okay, you can kind of see my orange coming through. So I'm going to add a 5x to both sides to get this guy, this negative 5x over there. So positive 5x to both sides. So I'm going to end up with 22x minus 7 equals 15. So now my x's are all together, so I can add a 7 to both sides. So I end up with 22x is equal to 22. Divide both sides by 22 to get x by itself. X is equal to 1. Now, as a side note, we've been seeing a lot of answers as 1 or negative 1, and that really won't be the case most of the time. I don't know why they're giving you the answers mostly that are 1 or negative 1. That's nice and convenient and very unrealistic that that's going to be the case long term. All right, so that's 96. I'll be back real quickly with 97. Bye.